So I want to talk a little bit about the batteries, the before and the after. So I think one of the trends that we've certainly noticed in the RV industry, marine industry, is the movement from an AGM to a or some kind of old school battery, I'll just say it, to a lithium-ion battery. So this is something that it has tremendous benefits for a whole bunch of different reasons, and I know the cost can be prohibitive, right? Moving from AGMs that are cheap and cheerful. They're easy to find. You can kind of find them anywhere you want, and you know, they do the trick. But there are certainly some things about AGMs that a lot of people have noted, and is prompting them to move on to something else.
So really this was a full retrofit project. We were pulling out his existing battery system, which was limited at best. It was using old AGM batteries, so he had a total of about 35 amp hours of usable battery life, and we upgraded that to about 240, 250 amp hours, so a substantial increase for him. So he has increased runtime. We also put in solar into his, putting a 330 watt solar panel and a 30 amp charge controller into the van, and that was done to increase his runtime when he's out in boondocking in the fields. From a challenge perspective, what things were we challenged with? It was more just making sure that we didn't affect any other systems within the vehicle, that we were only playing with the power system. The other challenge was making sure everything was nice and neat and tidy from a wiring perspective, so he can sort out what's happened if he ever has to diagnose the system, so he can actually add things as well. We took away a lot of the bad things that other people had done, so namely how they had done wiring connections, where a lot of them were incorrect. Too many items connected to battery terminal posts, things like that, so we made the system a lot safer. We fused everything, and obviously correct wire sizing, things like that. Those were other challenges. We had to make sure we had the right wire sizes and the right wire lengths based on what his needs were, and made it safe in the end was the main thing, and made it his life much more comfortable. So now he can run off in the field for, boondock for days at a time, versus having to worry about charging his batteries because they're going to die. We put in a 30 amp multi-MPPT charge controller and a 330 watt panel, and with that he can get anywhere between 20 and 25 amps of charge with a single panel on a nice sunny day. For his specific battery bank, that would charge his bank up in about 8 to 10 hours, something along those lines, maybe a little longer. But that's from essentially completely dead battery to completely full. What that does for him, it enables his runtime to be a little longer. He may not get the full 20 amps, but the power from the solar panels will go to the batteries, and then that can be pulled out by the inverter. So he can actually, if he has small loads, maybe a few hundred watts, he'll be able to be essentially net zero, where he's not drawing down on the batteries. He's just using the solar power to power those loads, which is, maybe charging cell phones or other little things as well. Really will help him, so he's not drawing off the battery. And it gives him longer run time as well for his fridge, right? So he has a refrigerator in there. It's a DC powered refrigerator. It takes about 75 watts off of the batteries directly. It's a DC fridge, so it takes it right off the batteries. So there is no conversion, right? So he's actually getting, a nice long run time for that fridge if he wants to put it on. And it's a matter of, before he could run it for maybe 7 to 8 hours before the battery was dead, and now he's up into days of running it without even making a massive dent, and with solar it's even longer, right? So